Welcome back to the Junius Maltby channel. Today's going to be just a conversation, sort of a rant, and hopefully we can discuss the propaganda machine that we all see that is typically focused on gold. I don't know if it's just me, maybe you guys notice it as well, but when you go about doing research and looking up news or Googling terms, well, this is stuff that I do anyway, such as gold or central bank gold, IMF, gold investment, just trying to dig up some facts, maybe find a little, this is what I do when I try to find articles for you guys and discussing things. One of the things I have to deal with, and I'd like to show it to you guys and just discuss it, take your thoughts on it, see if you guys can leave some comments below. And well, one thing you'll notice is I come across a lot of articles that are absolutely slanted in their view. You're looking at just even the headlines, just the headlines that we have to deal with. And what it is it's always things like, just recently even, gold's precipitous drop, gold is over, gold doomed. I mean, just the terms they use, the wording, and things like plummet, devastated, and the mocking tone towards well, what they refer to as gold bugs. As you all know, I refer to us as gold hawks because I think the bug term is kind of derogatory. But it's interesting that they take that approach. You would think it would be more of a non-biased approach, but you can obviously see the mechanism here is geared towards slandering and defaming the character of gold as an investment vehicle, as a place to put your money. They really do pull off a full-on assault on gold, and they really don't focus that much energy, negative energy, towards any other investment vehicle. I mean, here you have the media jumping up and down and slobbering all over each other, just basically, heart-throbbing over their Bitcoin discovery. I mean, you've seen the news, you saw the media heads, talking heads, giving Bitcoin to each other for Christmas and talking about this and that, and just going off on how it's going to one day be this big thing, it's the future, or whatever, right? And here it is. I mean, a lot of people compare it to gold. It's not even physical, it's invisible. And this is not a Bitcoin conversation, so let's not get too sidetracked on it. But it's just interesting how they really got off on Bitcoin, but they keep slandering gold. And there's a lot I told you so going on with these people in the market. And they call Peter Schiff on to have him discuss gold, and they always bring up, Peter, were you wrong? Were you wrong? And they like to talk about where gold is now. The part that I find interesting, in spite of all the negative press and all the media outlets discussing gold and their view on it, which is typically negative, is these again are the same people that were wrong about gold's trajectory for 10 years. I mean, let's look at the facts, ladies and gentlemen. Please expose this with me. We're looking at from 1999 or 2000 to now, so about 14 years. For about 14 years, gold did nothing but go up. Every single year it closed up. For about 14 years. It has one down year. One. And the media goes bananas. They grasp onto it, and imagine if you based everything on just one out of 14 events. If in 14 events one thing happened, you said that, okay, that's the future, that is now the trend, that is the wave of the future, gold is done because one out of these 14 years it went down. That doesn't really tell us anything. That is not a very scientific mindset at all. And that, of course, you and I know, I mean, if you're at the Junius Maltby channel, if you actually found yourself here, you most likely don't need to even hear this conversation. I'm basically just reiterating things that you probably already know. These, again, so let's go back to CNBC, Market Watch, all these little financial writers and these cheerleaders for the financial industry. That's basically what they are. They're just a speaker box. They're an apologist for the mainstream financial industrial complex. That's what they are. They're out there to create propaganda, to produce media that supports their position. They are not true journalists, they're not non-biased, and they're not out there doing real journalistic research to discover facts and help the consumer or the investor or you, the citizen. They don't care about you. They don't care about your future, your 401k. They need your money, and they need to convince you to give them their money. And the way they can do that is by shunning you away from gold, by creating false propaganda, which is what they do. It is established. You can see it. You can see right through their lies. And the way I can prove it is, no matter how bad a particular stock is doing, no matter how bad the markets are doing, and this is evidenced from 2006 to up through 2011, when the markets were just getting, pardon my French here, when the markets were just getting raped. I mean, you saw absolute devastation, especially remember back in 2008. And these very people, I mean, here you had things like the Dow and the NASDAQ losing 40%, 50% of their value, some stocks losing over 90% of their value. I mean, imagine if gold went to, $500 an ounce. That's the equivalency of the devastation that the stock market received. Imagine the media press, what they would do if that happened to gold. Now, these people, when that was happening to stocks and bonds, they were screaming from the rooftops that it was a buy time. It's the best time ever. And yeah, sure, it was. Some of those stocks came back very well. But my point is, the whole time they were dropping, they were denying it was happening. Prior to it happening, they were defending, when people would argue that, hey, these stocks are overinflated, they're going to drop, they would deny it. No matter what facts were presented, they were trying to steer people away from gold, even though gold was hanging out around $300, $400, $500 an ounce. Every time gold broke a new record, they would say that that was it. It was going to drop from that point forward. So my point is, in summary, during the whole course of the financial meltdown, which I've gone over this before, I got a video on it, it's quite boring, but I read through the entire history of the financial meltdown for you guys. It's multiple pages. But during the course of that entire meltdown, the talking heads got it wrong. The very people that are predicting things and coming out with articles today have a horrible resume. They have a horrible track record for predicting events, for determining the trajectory of gold and its future. And I just want to remind all you guys out there that invest and hold fast to the truth and to where things are possibly going and the way the world actually works. This is just kind of serving as a reminder that don't get caught up in what those people say, don't get caught up in the articles they write, and just don't listen to them. And try to convince others the same. Turn off CNBC. Don't even listen to Kramer, Maria Bartiromo, whatever her name is. All these people that you see on these channels, they got it wrong for so long that I don't think they have any credibility. And they're not to be listened to. And I'm not saying I am. Don't listen to a word I have to say. Please don't. Don't even make any decisions based on what I have to say. If anything, I just encourage you to go do your own research and listen to people that actually know. If you're going to listen to anybody, listen to guys like Mark Faber, Peter Schiff, Jim Rogers, even Gerald Celente hits the nail on the head a lot of the times. You got Max Kaiser. He's a little bit lefter leaning than I would like, but even Max Kaiser's got some very, very good points on where the world economy is going and what's happening out there. When you do your reading, check out Lew Rockwell. I've got a whole video already on where I find a lot of my information and what links to check out. Read Professor Antal Faket, Daryl Schoon, or Schoon, if that's how you say it. So anyways, keep stacking, pay attention to the news, but remember to look at that news through the proper prism and try to digest it when you see it and read between the lines. Look for the propaganda out there. You'll see it. There's a lot of propaganda, a lot of articles that aren't giving you any information whatsoever They're just telling you what to believe. All right. Hope this hits close to home for some of you guys, and don't get too frustrated by the news. All right. Thanks. Have a great day, and if you get a chance and you haven't seen it already, go check out my the one video I did a while back called History of the Meltdown. I think you'll get a kick out of it. Anyways, thanks. Take care.